Hey everybody, it's Joe Cropper from the Power Systems Software Development Organization, and today we're going to take a look at a demonstration of deploying Oracle on AIX using IBM Cloud Private and IBM Cloud Automation Manager. So as a little bit of context, when folks tend to talk about IBM Cloud Private, they focus primarily on the container and Kubernetes aspects of things, which is of course very important given where a lot of modern software development is headed, and containers have really transformed how software is being packaged and delivered. So that's, of course, very critical part of the future developments. But from a power systems perspective, and frankly, in the industry today, most applications are still LPAR-based or virtual machine-based. And one of the sort of secret weapons, if you will, of IBM Cloud Private is a technology called Cloud Automation Manager. And Cloud Automation Manager is the technology that allows you to deploy any VM-based app that you have today. So if you're running AIX applications or IBM I applications or Linux on Power applications, Cloud Automation Manager, or CAM for short, is going to let you tap into those resources. And for the demonstration today, we're going to show you how you could set up Oracle on top of AIX and have that integrated right into the IBM Cloud Private catalog. And again, that could sit right alongside all of your container-based apps that you may develop for the innovations of tomorrow. So as a little bit of background in terms of what the environment looks like that we're about to delve into here, of course we've set it up with IBM Cloud Private, and that's running version 3.1.1 and Cloud Automation Manager 3.1.0. Those are configured to talk to PowerVC 1.4.2. That's just a standard PowerVC installation. I've also prepped that with an Oracle image that's going to be running on top of AIX 7.2. And then from an infrastructure perspective, we've got a couple of Power S822s running PowerVM, backed by StoreWise V7000 fiber channel storage. So with that, let's switch over to Cloud Automation Manager and create our Oracle service. Okay, so here's my IBM Cloud Private dashboard. As you can see, I've got my worker node and my master node. I've got configured with some storage, and then there's some deployments over here. Everything's looking healthy. I've installed Cloud Automation Manager, which I'm going to flip over to right now. So here is the IBM Cloud Automation Manager screen. So let's go ahead and go into our service library, and we will start creating our Oracle service. So we're going to come over here, click on Create Service. Call this Oracle on AIX. We can give it an icon here, give it a quick description. Okay. Now we can come over here to the composition. So here's where we're going to define essentially what workflow will be used to go ahead and do this provisioning. So here we're going to pick OpenStack and just make this a little smaller here with the screen resolution. So now we can come over here and we're going to say a PowerVC single virtual machine example. I'm going to drag that into my template here. It's a little bigger again. So basically what I'm doing is I'm telling Cloud Automation Manager that for this service entry, I want it to deploy a simple PowerVC virtual machine. And then I have all this information that I need to fill in over on the right hand side, and I'm telling it I want to use PowerVC for my connection. I'm going to give it some parameters that I've got to get. So the first thing that I need to configure is the OpenStack image ID. So I'm going to flip over to my PowerVC installation here. Again, PowerVC 1.4.2. I can see my images. I've loaded it with Oracle AIX 7.2. I can come over here and copy the image ID. So let's go fill that in. Number of instances. we just want one, the flavor ID. So that's going to be the OpenStack compute template. So we're going to tell it how much resource we need. We know we're going to need the medium one here, which is 4 vCPUs and about 16 gigs of memory. Again, you could change this based on what your specific needs are. I'm going to grab this compute template ID, or again, in OpenStack terminology, this is the flavor ID. I'll come over here, pop that in there. The network name, again, I can just go back to PowerVC. The network name here is static network. So we'll go over here. Let's fill that in, static network. The image ID of the username to connect it into the guest OS with. Put in my credentials here. Okay, so everything looks good. Got my plan information so I can set up various ways, my source code for this. I think everything looks good now, so let's go ahead and save this. And let's go ahead and publish it into our image catalog. Okay, at this point, Oracle on AIX has been published into the IBM Cloud Private catalog. So next up, let's go ahead and perform the deployment. Okay, so we're in the IBM Cloud Private dashboard now, so let's go over to the catalog here. As you can see, there's a lot of software entries in here, and many of these are container-based apps, but let's also go and pull up our Oracle app, which we just created. Let's go ahead and pick the standard plan, configure. Let's give it a name. We'll deploy it into the default namespace. We'll go ahead and do the installation. Okay, so at this point we have now kicked off the Oracle installation, which is going to call into PowerVC and essentially start the image deployment. So we're going to give this a couple of minutes, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the deployed Oracle LPAR. Okay, so we waited a couple of minutes and the deployment has now finished. So here we are at the IBM Cloud Private homepage. So let's go ahead and take a look at our brokered service. You can see that the Oracle AIX deployment completed about 30 minutes ago. From a Cloud Automation Manager perspective, you can see the same Oracle AIX is deployed and is running. And if we just switch over to the underlying PowerVC installation and we go to our virtual machines tab, you can see here that here's the VM or LPAR that we just created, and here's the IP address, so it's up and running on the network. So let's go ahead and open a session and take a look at Oracle. So here we are, you can see AIX 7.2, and if you look at the PVs that we have, we've got the root VG and the Oracle data VG. So let's go ahead and take a look at Oracle. And there we are. You can see that we are now we're running Oracle, we ran a SQL terminal here, and we could now start doing things with the Oracle database. Okay, well that wraps up today's demonstration of using IBM Cloud Private and Cloud Automation Manager to deploy Oracle on top of AIX. Up on the screen here is a set of really good resources in terms of how to get started and learning more information about IBM Cloud Private. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.